Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to our channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode we're going to feature a Sansevieria hybrid which is known as fischeri crossed with parva, or you can just say fischeri x parva, and this is how the specimen looks like. The second part is where we will discuss the characteristics and we will take measurements of the parts of the inflorescence or flower bloom. For this um, content though, the first part will be the discussion of the Sansevieria hybrid, which is known as fischeri x parva. So fischeri x parva is also a controversial Sansevieria hybrid because some say that they are just seedlings, or they are being lumped over to a seedling of Marcia anjani. I'm not very sure of it, but this I think in Marcia anjani or the anjani seedlings are from Indonesia, and where we got our specimen of fischeri x parva, the hybrid, is actually from another country, which is Thailand. So I don't really get the connection why some experts or some people would lump over fischeri x parva to Marcia anjani, because the parentage are different. This one originally has no name, so I think someone named it as Marco Polo, but that is not that is unofficial, and I don't think people from Indonesia can name it, because this hybrid was obtained from Thailand and it was already existing before Marcia anjani was ever created. So again, we have procured our specimen of fischeri x parva from Thailand, and this is how they look like. The tips are parva because it's tubulate and very long. If you have the parva species, you can check the tips and they would look like this: long tips that are tubulate, and they are uniform across all the leaf tips that you can find. So there are these are more samples of the leaf tips which they got from the other parent, the parva species. And then what they got from fischeri is the markings or the banding, the mottlings, or what you call the pattern of the leaf. I guess it's more of bandings instead of mottlings. So I would say that fischeri x parva is having a banded pattern. You can see the dark bandings, and then followed by the lighter green bandings. But as they grow, as the leaf grows more mature, the leaves would just look like they are solid green color. So again, for those asking if your Sansevierias ever bloom, will they die? So my answer to that: if you take good care of them, they would still live out very long. And what they will do is they will give you more offsets after blooming. That is because they could no longer grow more roots, or they could not grow more leaves from this part. So they will try to grow offsets from down below the rhizome, or they can grow offsets from the sides of the stem, but not particularly from the core of the plant where the bloom has grown. So we will discuss the bloom, or the flower bloom or the inflorescence on the second part. I'm just showing you how the inflorescence would look like. By the way, the inflorescence of Sansevieria fischeri is very short. It is a capitate type, and the flower stalk on it would just be around 1 to 2 inches. So it's very short. The inflorescence of parva is also very short. They're not that long, reaching to 12 inches to 2 feet, or 1 feet to 2 feet. This one is just about 5 inches, and I have also checked with a fellow colleague that collects Sansevieria, Ed Francisco. He also has he's My fischeri X parva came from him, and his fischeri X parva originated from Thailand. So we have the same inflorescence, very short inflorescence. You can ask Ed the measure of the flower stalk, but from my perspective, or from my specimen, it has grown an inflorescence that is just about 5 inches tall, 5 to 6 inches. So there you go. This is how they would look like. I can give you a quick tour on the garden, nighttime tour, so that we can see the other specimens that I have of fischeri X parva. So before we go to the other fischeri X parva, to note that the inflorescence of fischeri X parva that we have is short. If you have a fischeri X parva, you think that you have it, and then it bloomed for you and it's very tall, reaching to 1 feet to 2 feet, then you probably don't have the original fischeri X parva. So that's one of the facts that I can give out. It's up to you if you take it. You can deny it, but the inflorescence would tell you the truth otherwise. So going back, let's go and check the other specimens of fischeri X parva in our garden. Alright folks, so it's kinda dark in here, so but the light to see where we're going. This is a sample of the species fischeri, but we will not discuss that at the moment. I'm just showing you so you can reference yourself to how it looks like. You see that that pattern that it has. It is also a banded type, wherein you see the darker green color is alternate with the lighter green color. This is a mature leaf, and like I said, they grow like singularis, but there are times that they can grow rosette, several leaf per rhizome, but this one is just growing as a singularis type of Sansevieria. So here are more specimens of fischeri X parva. I have planted them in a plant box, but the plant box has no division on the most bottom part. So when they root directly to the ground, and this is how they will grow. There is another one in there, and it's kind of hard to spot if there are any bloom coming from it because they have very long leaves, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't able to properly document the inflorescence of fischeri X parva, the Sansevieria hybrid. So this is one specimen. We can go to the other one and we'll check if there are any flower spike on it. So no, there's none, and this is how the other specimen look like. Alright, so you see the tips, they are very long, tubulate, and very much like the parva species. There's another one, and there's another one over there. So let's go back to the other specimen because it's tight in here where I have planted them. Alright. Okay folks, so I have shown you specimens of fischeri X parva, and this one is growing, I think, over 1 feet. On the second part we will discuss the inflorescence, so I'll be right back. Please give me a second to show you the inflorescence or flower bloom of the Sansevieria hybrid known as fischeri X parva. Alright folks, so we're back, and this is the second part of the content wherein we will take measurements of the inflorescence, or we will take measurements of the parts of the inflorescence for Sansevieria hybrid, which is known as fischeri X parva, or fischeri was crossed with parva, and this is how the inflorescence looks like. And for everyone's information, fischeri has a very short inflorescence, and the type of inflorescence is a capitate type of inflorescence, and they are almost close to the ground, and parva though has a tall inflorescence. So the combination of both is what you see right now. We can actually measure the inflorescence height, which is at 6 inches. And to get a variance of the height of the inflorescence, I have also asked a colleague of mine, namely Edmund Francisco, and he confirmed that his fischeri X parva is also having the inflorescence height of around 5 to 6 inches. So, so to speak, we have legit fischeri X parva. I am not familiar with what is circulating in Indonesia or India as a fischeri X parva, but I have seen the inflorescence of what they claim to be a fischeri X parva, and I don't believe they have the correct one. What we have here is the correct fischeri X parva, as what you can see that it is the combination of the inflorescence of the Sansevieria fischeri and the Sansevieria parva, which is a combination of a short and tall inflorescence. So what we have here is an inflorescence that is measuring 5 to 6 inches, and the flowers per cluster, I don't know if you can see that, is quite random. I'm seeing 6 to 7 flowers in a cluster, and normally it for raceme type of inflorescence, it wouldn't be like what you see right now, because what you see right now is sort of a combination of a capitate and a raceme type of inflorescence, although this raceme, it's most likely leaning towards being raceme. However, the placement of the flowers or the flower tubes would be a combination of it being from a capitate. So I'm seeing around 7 flowers in the cluster, which I don't normally see in Sansevieria species. I would measure only 6 to 1 flowers per cluster, but for this particular hybrid, especially with capitate ones, because for capitate inflorescence there are a lot of flower tubes that are umbrella like, and they are more than 20, more than 50, I guess, that is attached to a flower stalk. So therefore this is a combination of both, since it is having more than 6 to 1 flowers in a cluster. Actually, I don't see any flowers on top that is 1. So I would say that this is it's having like a cluster of 6 to 6. So the maximum that I can see, or 6 to 5, I would say, because the topmost portion would be 5 flower tubes per cluster. So there you go. It's a kind of combination of the capitate and the clustered raceme of the Sansevieria parva. So fischeri would be the capitate one, and we will be measuring flower tubes, since we will peg this at 6 to 5 flowers per cluster. The flower tubes, there are let's set it 0. There are there is a 13.4, then the longer one would be 24.8 millimeters. So that is the measure of the flower tubes for Sansevieria fischeri X parva, which is a hybrid. So that said, the parentage, and this is how the plant looks like. It has the coloration of fischeri. That is the pattern of fischeri. There you go. I'll focus on the leaf part. Perhaps I can feature fischeri species on the next episode, but the leaf tips though was passed on from the other parent, which is the parva. Parvas would have very long tips, such as what I am illustrating right now. These are very similar to parva's tips, especially this one in here. They are of the parva species, so it's a combination of fischeri and then parva. So I would agree that it is really a legit parentage for this particular hybrid. So if the inflorescence would be on top for Marsanjani, which is what is being compared to it from other parts of the country, Marsanjani would be having the flower stalk of around 16 to 18 inches. You can go back to an episode that I have already uploaded, which is Marsanjani with the inflorescence, and the inflorescence are very tall as compared to what I'm showing right now as fischeri crossed with parva. So if you don't have this type of inflorescence, you can ask my colleague Edmundo Francisco. I got my plant from him, and probably we got our plant from Thailand. So this species has a Thailand origin, and I'm not really sure about the Marco Polo, or what they claim to be a fischeri ex parva in Indonesia or some parts of the country, but it has a different inflorescence to what we have originally as fischeri crossed with parva. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment down below. If you like what I have featured for you, then please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and thank you for watching, everyone. You have a great day.